Look up at the night sky, and you will see thousands of stars scattered like dust across the dark. For all of human history, we believed this was the universe. The stars, the planets, the faint glow of distant galaxies. But everything you can see, everything that glows, everything made of atoms, every star and every world and every living thing, all of it together, is only about 5% of what exists. The other 95% is invisible. It gives off no light, it makes no sound, and yet it shapes the fate of everything. We call these two great mysteries dark matter and dark energy. We do not know what either of them truly is. And tonight, we are going to listen to what little they have told us. The story begins not in space, but in the mind of a Swiss astronomer named Fritz Zwicky. In the 1930s, Zwicky was studying a distant cluster of galaxies. He measured how fast the galaxies were moving, and something was deeply wrong. They were moving so quickly that, by every law of physics he knew, the cluster should have torn itself apart. The galaxies should have flown off into the dark, scattered, lost. But they did not. Something was holding them together, something with enormous gravity, something that could not be seen. Zwicky gave it a name. He called it dunkle materie, dark matter. For decades, almost no one took the idea seriously. It sounded like a ghost story dressed up as science. Then came Vera Rubin. In the 1970s, this American astronomer turned her attention to the way galaxies spin. According to the laws of gravity, stars far from the center of a galaxy should move slowly, just as the outer planets move slowly around our sun. But that is not what she found. The outer stars were racing around the galaxy just as fast as the inner ones, as if some invisible mass was wrapped around the whole thing, holding it, pulling it. Galaxy after galaxy told the same story. The visible matter, the stars and the gas and the dust, was not nearly enough to explain what she was seeing. There was far more out there than anyone could see. And slowly, the ghost story became one of the greatest unsolved problems in all of science. So, what is it? Here is the honest answer. We still do not know. We know what it does. It has mass, so it has gravity. It forms vast, invisible halos around galaxies, and it weaves through the cosmos in enormous filaments, like a hidden web that the visible universe simply hangs upon. But we do not know what it is made of. It does not shine, it does not absorb light, it does not even seem to touch ordinary matter, except through gravity. It could pass straight through your body, straight through the earth, straight through a wall of solid lead, and never leave a trace. Scientists have ideas. Some think dark matter is made of strange, undiscovered particles with names like WIMPs or axions. Around the world, deep underground in old mines and beneath mountains, there are detectors waiting in the dark, hoping to catch a single one of these particles drifting through. So far, after decades of searching, they have caught nothing. And that silence is its own kind of message. It tells us that whatever dark matter is, it is unlike anything we have ever held or measured or named. It is the scaffolding of the cosmos, the invisible structure on which every galaxy is built, and it remains just beyond our reach. But dark matter is only half of the mystery, and it is not even the larger half. To understand the rest, we have to go back to the 1990s, to a discovery that genuinely frightened the scientists who made it. Astronomers were studying distant exploding stars called supernovae to measure how the universe was expanding. Everyone expected the same answer. Since the Big Bang, the universe had been growing outward, and gravity, pulling on all that matter, should be slowing it down. The only real question was how quickly it was slowing. The data said something impossible. The universe was not slowing down, it was speeding up. The expansion was accelerating faster and faster, as if some invisible force was pushing everything apart. This made no sense. Gravity pulls things together. What could possibly be pushing the entire cosmos outward against the gravity of every star and every galaxy combined? They gave this force a name: dark energy. And here's the part that is almost impossible to imagine. Dark energy is not rare. It is not some small correction. When scientists add everything up, dark energy makes up about 68% of the entire universe. Dark matter makes up about 27%. And everything else, Every atom, every star, every planet, every living thing, all of the ordinary matter we have ever known, is only about 5%. We have spent thousands of years studying that 5%, and we are only just beginning to realize that it is the exception, not the rule. It would be easy to hear all of this and think, these are just numbers, just abstractions, far away and disconnected from our lives. But they are not. Dark matter is the reason galaxies exist at all. Without its gravity, in the early universe, ordinary matter would never have gathered together. There would be no galaxies, no stars, no planets, and no us. We owe our very existence to something we cannot see, and dark energy may decide how everything ends. If this mysterious force keeps pushing the universe apart, faster and faster, then far in the future, galaxies will be carried beyond each other's reach. The night sky will slowly empty. One by one, the distant lights will fade, until any creatures left behind look up and see only darkness, with no way of ever knowing that the rest of the universe was ever there. So these are not minor details. They are the beginning and the end of the entire story. The visible universe, the one we have spent all of human history studying, is just a thin layer of light, floating on an ocean of the unknown. Everything we know is the exception, not the rule. For thousands of years, humans looked up at the night sky and believed they were seeing the universe. The stars, the planets, the distant bands of light. Now we know the truth. Almost everything out there is invisible to us. The cosmos we can see is a faint echo of something far greater, something that surrounds us, moves through us, and shapes the fate of all things while remaining just beyond our reach. We have only begun to listen. This has been Echoes of the Universe. If you want to keep exploring the unknown with us, stay a while. The cosmos has many more secrets to tell.